Hello, everybody. Well, yeah, no, so now that everyone can see my screen, I'm excited to kind of kick off this webinar together and give you that high-level overview of mission control. Please feel free to reach out through our chat. Today's webinar will be recorded. I'll be looking every so often at the chat, so if there's any questions, thoughts, ideas, more than happy to expand on anything directly throughout the call. Just feel free to reach out and I'll sporadically take a look at them. So with that being said, quick introductions on my side. My name is Julian. I'm the account executive here at Mission Control. I've been within the Salesforce ecosystem for roughly 3 years and with the Aprika team who owns Mission Control for just around a year now. So excited to kind of be giving you this high level overview of Mission Control in terms of what we'll be going through today will be quick introductions on who we are, what we do, why Mission Control, the high level why. And then what I'll be really focusing on is kind of see those key portions of what people like to see in terms of the benefits of using Mission Control in terms of launching a project from an opportunity, assigning resources to the project, logging time and completing an action, and along with generating an invoice. I think even before doing this, I might do a quick fundamentals that kind of give you an overview of kind of say the buildup of roles and what those mean within mission control and kind of how you could um, assign different related records to them. So in terms of why mission control, well, basically we're native to Salesforce. There's no separation between mission control and your Salesforce instance, meaning um, think of us as a series of custom objects that live in your environment. Uh, we we integrate. We're an ISV partner within Salesforce, within Salesforce App Exchange, meaning we integrate into any sort of Salesforce license. So if you're using professional, enterprise, unlimited, whatever it is, we are able to interact with your Salesforce instance. And really, the key benefits of using Mission Control are very much aligned with the key benefits of using Salesforce. Being able to build out custom fields, map out your business logic, kind of mirror what your business processes are within Mission Control and have them live within that one single space, which is Salesforce, kind of having that single source of truth. So in terms of the kind of that why to Mission Control, kind of to expand on it, we're native to Salesforce, meaning every record you'll be seeing today, every data point can be reported on as would anything else within Salesforce. Think of us as a layer of project management within your current Salesforce instance that you could add, let's say, a lot of the benefits of using Salesforce to, which would just kind of be compounded with using that project management side of things. Everything works out of the box. When I say everything works out of the box, specifically, we give you the full solution. We are not trying to gatekeep parts, features, functionality. The idea is we are a scalable tool. We are a tool companies when they're about to hit a ceiling and they're kind of growing past their current stack, typically point solutions or spreadsheets. You're looking to kind of grow with the tool. So we are a tool that kind of gives you a lot of features and functionalities. And the idea is you might not necessarily use everything in MVP phase one or even within the proof of concept. But the idea is when you do need these features, they are ready available for you, and we'll help guide you kind of to and build a roadmap so you can use them. When I say no implementation required, that's pretty straightforward. If you go on the App Exchange and you click the Get It Now button, you will be able to download our package directly into your instance without any assistance on our side. So you are able to kind of be live with Mission Control. And we do offer a 2-week free trial. So if anybody's interested, go directly to our App Exchange, click Get It Now, and download directly into your sandbox where we'll start sending you some emails with in terms of best practices, how to use it, and a lot of and kind of access to our learning portal. Our learning portal is of the deepest I've ever seen within any software company. Basically, any idea, any concept, any process you might think of within project management or let's say for professional service teams, we have a video database, a knowledge base, which is just kind of a more object structure and documentation, and along with the user guide, which is a little bit more of a linear approach to getting started. So towards the end of the call, I'll quickly go over those, just so you kind of have an idea of how to be autonomous in terms of, let's say, you're learning through a trial. Also, in terms of all that learning collateral, it's been created by our amazing support team. Our headquarters is based in Melbourne. I'm personally based in Montreal, Canada. Our support team is literally all over the world, so we do have 24-hour support, and basically make sure we're always there if there's any issues. In terms of onboarding, implementation, going live, what we see is what we really focus on is within 2 weeks you're actually using the tool. Um, After 2 weeks, what we really aim for is a 45 to 90-day period where we aim to have your phase one implementation MVP go live. So your team is actually hitting those goals and targets that we discussed within, let's say, the sales process together, where you're kind of hitting those goals and being able to kind of say start looking towards what's important for phase two and kind of be very forward looking. We do fare a little bit higher in terms of inside of our worthy rivals in terms of NPS scoring. So something we're very proud about and always happy to expand on. In terms of, let's say, in a typical sales cycle or a typical process with myself, how do you identify if we are a good fit or if this is the right tool for your organization? Typically, we kind of go through a discovery process, demo process, understand your requirements, your pains, your objectives, and really build a personalized case together to understand if this tool would be able to help you hit your company, personal, and team goals. That process is dynamic, it's robust, and we will bring in the proper resources to make sure all your needs are met. At which point, when let's say you see the tool and you do believe there is a fit and there is alignment here, this is when we go into our product evaluation phase. This is where we typically like to have you download our trial into your sandbox, get some hands-on experience with our tool. We don't gatekeep any part of our solution. We really insist and kind of we reiterate how easy it is to get set up and started by yourself. And then we really want to focus on matching and even kind of say expressing the realities versus expectations and making sure there are no gaps. It's important for this to be a working together here. We're partnering. We're where we provide best practices. We help your team go from current state to future state. And this is a true partnership. So kind of introducing you to the right people at the right time and making sure everyone is aligned in terms of what next steps look like, feel like, and what you're should be expecting. These are all things that we will be aligning on and making sure everything is above water so we can move forward together into that onboarding phase where we do have multiple onboarding packages. We could be as hands-on or hands-off as you like. We work closely with SI firms. We have our own professional service team. We have our self-onboarding path. We will make sure that the right solution is provided for you in terms of onboarding and make sure that there is no gap in terms of expectations and reality where you will be successful using the tool and ongoing support. Along with, let's say, webinars like this, our support team do their own campfires, have their own check-ins, and we make sure we keep a pretty close to the beat cadence with most of our customers who will be successful using our tool. Quick history about Mission Control. We are just over 12 years on the App Exchange. So we have a strong alignment with Salesforce. Our CEO and our CTO are both the founders of Mission Control, meaning a lot of other tools. I don't think there is another PSA tool on the project management tool on the App Exchange that wasn't acquired or let's say Frankenstein together, where we truly are one cohesive solution that has been built by our own team. And we are still building the tool to match the requirements and needs of our prospect and all of our customers. We are the first users of our tool, so I personally have many ways I use the tool that I love, and I can even expand on if there's any questions. Um, and you can share ways other firms use our tool, and we're always happy to kind of build the tool that's right for you. In terms of features and functionalities, we are PSA. So PSA really kind of revolves around three main functions, which would be project management, resource management, and time execution. Um, as I mentioned, look, 12 years on the App Exchange, we've gone a little bit deeper than just those three elements. But at its core, those are the three parts of a project, a PSA tool that will kind of give you the oversight into capacity planning, billable utilization, forecasting roles and capacity, and making sure your team has the visibility and awareness to kind of grow into how your business is scaling. I don't think it'd be a benefit to anybody if I were to kind of go through every one of these features today, but feel free to reach out to me directly. I'm more than happy to walk through anything, and even directly on our support, which I'll show you at the end of the call. Our support pages, we have documentation, videos on each and every one of these features. So, with that being said, I will stop sharing this, take a step back, jump into my uh, demo org, and we can jump in from there. So, with that being said, this is mission control. It might look familiar because this is Salesforce. As I mentioned, there's no separation between mission control and your Salesforce instance. Think of us as a series of custom objects that live in your environment, meaning every data point, every record can be reported on, built into workflows, and really built to to mirror your business processes so that your teams and your organization can run as seamlessly as possible. So in terms of how we interact with Salesforce, as you can see here, there's a series of native Salesforce objects like home, accounts, contacts, opportunities, leads. Then you start to see some mission control objects. Um, oh, maybe share my screen. Am I sharing my screen? There we go. Yeah, I am sharing my screen. Perfect. Um, So it basically, as you can see, there's Salesforce objects, then you see the mission control objects like projects, timesheet, scheduler, Gantt chart, meeting, and all this fun stuff down below. Realistically, no one will use our tool 100% out of the box for phase one, um, which is what in terms of, let's say, what we see on our side, is, let's say, individual users having a little bit more of a focused experience when getting started. So let's say your Salesforce admin might want to have access to all those features and functionalities, where an end user might be really just focused on projects, Kanban board, a list of their actions, timesheets, and reports. The idea is every user should have their own custom experience and really focus on the ins and outs of their day. Um, if the tool can be as robust or as direct as you need it to be, this is just something we always explore together, where different users, different teams could have their own specific experience. For the purpose of today, I'll be using our admin side. So basically, you have full visibility into um, all the um, all the beautiful things we have here at Mission Control. So look, where I'll be starting off with is quick a quick fundamental on, let's say, role buildup. So in terms of what is a role is an end user. A role is someone who is essentially is a resource. It's someone who logs time. It's someone who's assigned to projects. Um, a role in this case is myself, Julian or Charity. You can see here that I am a project manager. I have a certain set of KPIs around myself, such as I'm aiming to work Monday to Friday, 8 hours a day, with my billable target being 80%. I have my own bill rate and cost rate, which you could trump those in the future by using, let's say, rate cards or what have you. But let's say if I do want to just do direct bill rate on my own, I do have my own bill rate, and I have my own target. So later down the road, when I'll be kind of going into different views, looking at scheduling, looking at availabilities, capacity, this is what's really taken into account because everyone could have different hours per week or billable target rates and basically really customize what people's goals are. Everything could be highly tailored per user. So let's say at if it's important for an individual role to have certain notifications, different views, access to different mission control objects, everything could be highly tailored directly from this page. So you create your role at your permission groups, but you could also just kind of really customize from the front end over here. Something I want to really kind of focus on here is the related records. You can see there all the projects and milestones I've been assigned to. But let's say going one layer lower, you can see that I have also been assigned some skills and been assigned to multiple teams. So in terms of skills, we can see that there's a kind of say associated to proficiency level and enjoyment factor. And also I could be assigned to multiple teams. So later down the road, when I'm staffing projects, you will be able to filter by skill and by team to make sure you are assigning the most the capable and competent person to individual actions. The idea here is basically you want to have the visibility in terms of always staffing your projects and processes as effectively as possible. With that being said, and kind of let's say the understanding of there's you could relate records to a role. Let's jump into an opportunity, and what we'll do is create a project from an opportunity. So what we'll do here is just jump into a standard Salesforce opportunity. There's nothing special here. So webinar December, close date. Let's just say the close date today. Fingers crossed, and then go into prospecting. So by creating this is a standard Salesforce opportunity, nothing new, nothing special here. This is everyone should be kind of familiar with this object where you see customizable pipeline statuses. You can see kind of let's say the amount of detail you have at a regular opportunity page. And then what you'll also notice are some mission control objects on the right-hand side, like role forecasts, projects, project requests, change requests. So the idea here is that we didn't hard code this process into this step because every business does this slightly differently. Although we made it very easy to match your business processes and what's important for you to create from the opportunity into the project phase. With that being said, it could be as simple as adding just identifying okay, at this opportunity, I think this opportunity should be using a certain project template, and I want the this opportunity to spin a project based on an opportunity status change. So it could be as simple as assigning templates to opportunities, or something you could also do, and something we highly suggest, is connecting Salesforce products to project templates. So think of this as being able to build modular projects by adding multiple products to an opportunity. So think if you could, let's say, add, if your sales team is just simply adding multiple products to an opportunity, and then at a opportunity pipeline status change, it would trigger those products which are associated to templates to create either one simple massive project that's just a modular grouping of products, or it could be multiple projects. Every business does this slightly differently. So we made it very easy to match those processes. Now, the question is, how detailed do those project templates need to be? Um, or how high level can they be? There is no right answer here. And it isn't binary, it isn't one or the other. The idea is You could have certain products that are just kind of say the shells of task assignments or just kind of say a high level role forecast. Or you could have products that are projects that are essentially highly detailed processes. So we make sure every time you spin a project, it has associated risks, time allocations, placeholder resources, or even named users. It could be as detailed or as high level as you require, and we don't force it to go either way. We really suggest kind of making sure you match your business processes as seamlessly as possible. So earlier I showed you, I said that basically by on this opportunity, I try to keep it as simple as possible. By moving, my trigger is by moving it to close one, but it doesn't need to be close one. A lot of firms like that kind of have their projects created before close one and kind of have those projects that exist in a kind of a pipeline state, which we're more than happy to kind of expand on. But for the purpose of today, I kind of keep it as simple as possible. So by moving to close one, I associated a project template. And what you'll see is I don't have any projects associated to this opportunity. And just simply by moving it to close one, you see my project has been created. So now, being that this project has been created, what I'm able to do is jump into the project and look at a lot of the data that has come from the template. In terms of, let's say, this high-level overview, as I mentioned earlier. So right now we're looking at this page that has, let's say, access to all my objects and access to all these tabs. You might not want to have access to, let's say, anything but insights, an overview, and a Gantt chart, where basically we could easily just at the role record remove those tabs, and you just have a focused view on what's important for individuals here. With that being said, this is our project overview page. This is our project insight page where you can see I do have some information that has come over from the template, such as actions, if there's any overdue actions, checklist items, burn down of say estimated versus actuals, risks, issues, purchase orders, which I can even log expenses to those purchase orders and associate them to milestones or actions, and we have P&L. This is all based on our, let's say, our breakdown, our work breakdown that I showed you earlier. And even what kind of maybe take a step back and speak to what our hierarchy is within the project level. So we have a 7-layer hierarchy within Mission Control. The top layer is portfolio management. Under portfolio, we allow for program. Under program, we allow for project. Under project, we allow for phases. Under phases, we allow for milestones. Under milestones, we allow for actions. And under actions, we allow for checklist items. Now, do you need to use every one of these layers? No. But the idea is we have this available for you and for you to use if you want that level of granularity. What we could also see is I have some estimations or even some time allotments that just come in from my template that are associated to placeholder resources at an action level. Again, we don't need to be this detailed. It could be as bucket-like or as granular as you need. So before I go in and start staffing this project, what I'd like to do is show you into different views, such as a Gantt chart. The Gantt chart is a great way to understand timelines, dependencies, and really kind of use this as a visual aid that your team could use to understand where you sit within the project lifecycle. So if I bring this project a little bit higher, just close everything up, what we see here is I have my project. Under my project, I have my phases. Under my phases, I have my milestones. Under my milestones, I have my actions. And under those actions, I could have checklist items. We also have on this page dependencies. It's a simple drag and drop functionality. We make it super easy to have dependencies between milestones or actions, meaning, so let's say if I have a functional configuration action with internal testing, for some reason, if this functional configuration action gets pushed out, everything else will get pushed out in accordance based on those dependencies. What we could also see is that I have my baseline button. So I'm able to identify what is baseline, what are actuals, and these are all data points that can be reported on. What you could also see is basically we have ownership to these actions and start and end dates. This is a page that could be exported. It could be leveraged in many different ways. Could be added to an experience portal. Could be added to a status report. Um, the sky's the limit. There's multiple ways we can even leverage this through a read-only button. We try to make it as easy as possible for you to leverage the collateral we have within Mission Control. Jumping into a different view, we also have a Kanban board. So if it's important for you to understand who's working on what, if there's any priority actions, or what are the status of current actions, and you want to kind of, let's say, have this ready at your fingertips, we make it as easy as possible for you to kind of leverage these tools to interact with your project as such. There's also the concept of risks and issues. Risks, so even in terms of the mission control language, risks are things that can happen, issues are things that are happening. In terms of these could also be baked into the template. So let's say if there are a series of risks that you want your team to be aware of before jumping into a project. Basically, what you could do is let's say a risk associated to a milestone or action, and say that this risk delay is economic, financial, area impact is time, impact rating high, probability, let's say low, and proximity medium. By saving this, I could have multiple risks, and these would all be populated within my risk matrix. So it's a great way for you to understand the risks and the issues that could inhibit a project. Now, jumping back into the actual overview side of things, this is where we have the understanding of who's been assigned to what at a project level. The idea here is basically right now I have placeholder resources. These aren't named individuals. These are just kind of assets I'm using to help forecast and help kind of identify who would be a good fit for a role later down the road. But let's say right here, this is a needs analysis workshop. If I'm looking to staff this action, what I could leverage is our resource assignment wizard. Hold on. So this resource assignment wizard will give me the ability to query down to different teams, skills, certifications, and identify who would be the best fit for the role. So at the beginning of this call, I showed you into that role record where I have assigned myself the team. So let's say for this needs analysis workshop, for some reason I'm like, hey, look, I want to get a team of project manager. I want to look into my team of project managers, and it's important because this project has language requirement, which is French. Being that I'm based in Montreal, I definitely I'm gonna fit under that. But let's say if I look into this from over here, I can see these are my two project managers I have within Mission Control, within my bench that speak French, and this shows my current my hours for these weeks. I can see that basically on the first week of January, I'm doing over over two times my what I'm hoping for, and basically this is just being that it's in the red. This is a good indicator that I need to look into my schedule because I'm gonna get burnt out. I'm overbooked, and I need to make sure I'm staffing my team as effectively as possible. But because I'm stubborn, what I'll also do is just put myself on this role again and basically give myself those 4 hours. What I could also do here is pull another contributor over, and I could add as many contributors as I'd like to an action. And you can see I have this action is 4 hours, and I could say that I want to give 2 hours to Kelly. So those 2 hours have been divided up, and now basically that's how we divide the hours for this needs analysis workshop. We try to make it as simple and clear for your team to make the as informed of a decision as possible when staffing projects. With that being said, we also have an auto assignment wizard. I'm not going to jump into it because it's a little bit future state for a lot of firms, but imagine what we could do is based on skills, certifications, availabilities, I could assign a full project within one click. It's going to give me a percentage based match, and I could even either have it fully assign my project or individually go one into one and assign my individual resources, and then maybe take a step back and go into, let's say, my the overview and assign those resources individually. So we try to make it as easy as possible for you to leverage all the tools we have within Mission Control. So let's say I've staffed the project and I'm kind of interested in looking into who's been scheduled to what task. This is when we have our scheduler tool. The scheduler is an amazing way to have an overview of who's been working on what. It could also be a high-level tool um, to understand, let's say, your financials. Let's say what are the dollar implications towards an individual resource. Let's say I'm just looking at the month of December. I could, let's see, even add another month. I want to look in December and January. Save that, and then look into those individual resources. I could also look into it like from an hour detail, and just instead of a dollar amount, look at what are the hours someone's working. I could also understand um, if, let's say, I'm looking if I want to look at, let's say, my project management team, which I am on. I want to see, because I know I've assigned myself some holidays as well. So basically, we are able to kind of identify the holidays and I um, see how those impact your capacity. Daniel, if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat, and I'll be able to identify. I'll be able to speak to them directly over here. So with that being said, what we could do is also go into hours total, and from here you'd be able to from here you'd be able to see the amount of hours that have been assigned to individual resources, and also we have our actions tab. So this is where it gets a bit interesting. This is a tab that can be used. Think of it as a bit of like a Gantt chart, but for scheduling. This is a tab that can be used to either identify who's working on what, see, let's say, your schedule allocation versus utilization. And also, you could leverage this to even workshop you can workshop individual actions. So let's say I see this configuration management and I want to move this over to another individual. Just by dragging and dropping, I could push over to someone else's schedule and really lighten my own workload because I'm definitely well overbooked, and it's important for me to move over. Oh, no, to move over directly from this page. So think of this as an amazing way to kind of say workshop schedules and have the visibility in terms of months, weeks, days, and who's been working on what. Um, there we go. Oh, sorry. Um, can you show again the integration with opportunities? How the project, well, I showed that earlier in terms of the integration from opportunity. I'll be sending out the recording to everyone on the call, so you'll have the visibility in terms of the opportunity to project. And we have a question from Daniel regarding the auto assignment of tasks. Can it be automated to assign tasks to available team members based on required skill and capacity? Yes, that's when I was showing you earlier into that auto assignment wizard. Basically, at one click, you have the full availability to auto assign tasks to those members based on skills and availability. Um, it's an easy way to kind of, let's say, skip steps, and also gives you like kind of removes a lot of the man effort in terms of staffing your team. But then what you will be able to do is um, look into, let's say, what's been suggested, and um, be able to customize your answers from there on then on in. Um, and then I just got another question. Is it possible to create templated projects with phases and actions already defined? Yes, very, very much so. In terms of, let's say, creating those, so basically, any project can be a template. So, kind of, let's say, leveraging that from the opportunity phase. And what you could also do, let's say, if I want to go into a project over here, let me just go take my webinar. Uh, Let me just take this webinar over here. What I could also do is, so basically, this whole project is just based on a template. But what we could also do is just load from previous templates as well. So let's say I want to just add, I want to add, let's say one, like forecast. I want to add just part of a, let's say, part of a let's say, template actually. Like a sales tracker to this project. I could add that, just kind of thinking of just adding a series of task assignments from an existing template to a project, so it becomes part of the future project. So multiple layers of templates can be used within individual projects. So jumping back into the scheduler side of things, um, it's a great way. This is a great way to kind of say understand availabilities and uh, kind of say capacity and being able to workshop it directly from this page. Now, understanding that basically I was showing you earlier is a Gantt chart at the project level. We also have that at the company level as well. So if I were to take a view over here, let's say Gantt. This is think of this as a bit of like a Gantt of Gantt, where I have full visibility in terms of all the projects my company is working on. Let's say, and just like our previous view, I can open up these and kind of let's say have a better understanding of all the phases, actions, and milestones under individual projects where I could even create dependencies between two separate projects. So I know sometimes, let's say if you have a program where there's a series of projects that let's say you have under an individual contract and there are dependencies, you can create inter-project dependencies, which is something we're really proud of here at Mission Control. And just like you have the ability to view everything here from the Gantt chart view, we also have a global whiteboard, which is a global Kanban. Being able to understand who's working on what. If there's any priority projects, what are the status of current projects? What's on hold? And let's say having ability for let's say leadership or let's say director level to understand what's on hold. You could jump into it, see if how those projects are interacting, and understand kind of let's say the start and end date of different projects. So it's a great way for your team to really leverage a high level understanding of what's happening at the project level. But if I also want to understand, let's say a little bit more of what's happening at the project level, um, we also have tools such as a project status report at the project level for your team to leverage as collateral to be shared internally and externally. So let's say if you do have a weekly stand-up and you want to kind of understand what's happening within this webinar December project we've been looking into, we have the ability to kind of understand. You can fully customize and white label this page, but you can see, let's say, the project detail, what's planned, what's completed, and use this to either share with external resources, external stakeholders, or use it strictly internally. There are different ways we suggest on leveraging this tool to match those efforts. Um, with that being said, there are multiple ways for us to really even I think something I wanted to show you into was being able to complete actions and log time. Um, so if I were to take a look at our project over here, there are there's a whole bunch of elegant ways we've created the log time. Either we have our global action button down here, which will follow you throughout the platform. So if I ever want to log time to an action and force notes, I could do it directly from here. If I'm looking to leverage a kind of a stopwatch functionality, start tracking time, stop tracking time, if I want to log it directly at the kind of let's say at the action level, I can do it directly. So But realistically, what we see is probably what is probably the most common used, and there's no shame in this, is just by simply leveraging our um, timesheet. So you can see that my time that I've been assigned to has been pushed into my timesheet, and what you could do here is um, directly assign individual, let's say, time allotments to billable and non-billable tasks. So let's say today is the 8th. I'm going to log 8 hours, double click into it, and I can even say I can even force notes into it. So worked on XYZ, and then save that time assignment there. Um, um, so what we can see over here is basically here, there we go. So it's a couple of quick questions. Anna, yes, I will be able to give a webinar or demo specific to your business. I will reach out to you directly after, and we could set up some time to kind of, let's say, have more of a focused discussion specific to your business. And Daniel, yes, so basically, you could build custom dashboards with any data point you see here specific to your Salesforce, and you could use data points within Mission Control within your existing dashboards because these are just regular data points these are just regular records within your Mission Control. So you could kind of build these really hybrid and dynamic dashboards with current data that exists with mission control data that just exists in your current dashboard. So if I were to take a step back here and let's say I've logged my time, something we also leverage within mission control is a lot of amazing Salesforce features. One being um, 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 what's it called? The being able to leverage oh my God, I forgot the name of the object. There's a functionality, so being able to so let's say for approval processes, sorry about that. If you're looking to leverage Salesforce standard approval processes, it can be done through here. So either one person second, whatever it is, you'll be able to kind of leverage it directly through Mission Control. So now going back into the project side of things. If I go back into my webinar December, discard changes. Something I want to quickly show you into as well is, let's say going into, let's say my project overview. I showed you earlier I had that billable milestone that I created. So let's say whenever I receive a signature, I will be able to have an invo or billing event created. So by jumping into this actual billing of this action, I'm gonna mark this as complete, save it, and what happens is that by going back into my project, uh, I will see over here within the billing tab. We have a billing event that has been created. So this is a $5,000 billable milestone that has been created based on just me completing that task. Now jumping into this actual billing event, we are able to kind of create an invoice directly from Mission Control. You could push to your ERP. You could, let's say, invoice directly from your ERP. But if you want to, let's say, view a PDF and it kind of customize this as much as you please, we do have the ability to do it directly from the Mission Control. So you can see this is as simple as possible, but obviously you could have a lot more detail and let's say information at the bottom of the page that could be specific to your business. With that being said, this is kind of say the high level overview of mission control. Look, there's a lot more I could show you into the platform in terms of reporting, dashboards, role utilization, even on any one of these objects down here. The depth of mission control is really it goes as far as you need it to be. Again, we try to keep it as simple as possible for getting started. So let's say when you are getting started, we do have all the documentation that's important for you. So I suggest maybe going into aprika.com/support, looking into our training videos, where imagine our success team has built out a near infinite body of knowledge that has made to be consumed by you. So any object, any process, any feature you could imagine, we have videos that have been created. In terms of a knowledge base, anything you could imagine in terms of better understanding the object structure with the mission control, or let's say using a Gantt chart as an example. If you want to better understand kind of let's say the functionality of the Gantt chart page, and you want to kind of let's say on your own time do your own learning, we have all this content readily available for you, and we suggest you kind of let's say really interact with it. Now, if you've gone to our let's say if you've gone on our App Exchange listing, and you click Get It Now and you download it in the sandbox. Something we suggest, basically, we don't gatekeep it. If you're looking to get this live in your sandbox today, by clicking the button, you'll have it within 5 to 10 minutes. Um, what we suggest is by leveraging our user guide. It's a little bit more of a linear approach in terms of how to use mission control, what's important to get started, and really kind of those first initial steps that would help you kind of get live with mission control. The idea is, so let's say if you do download into Sandbox, we also make it very easy for you um, to leverage our sample data. So let's say having a lot of let's say the content and information that you see today, strictly by going into our mission control tab and clicking create on the sample data, you will have essentially a ready to play with environment specific for your team. With that being said, I'm here to answer any questions. We have a tool that really could be tailored to focus on the function specific to your business. Every business uses mission control differently. We work with engineering firms, pro serve teams in any type of business, software companies, manufacturing firms, marketing agencies. Um, if you need to kind of deliver successful projects on Salesforce and you understand there's that void between sales and delivery, we fit the void seamlessly within Salesforce, and we do have a strong relationship with many layers of the Salesforce team. So talk to your Salesforce account executives, talk to SIs. We are highly regarded within the space, and more than happy to kind of connect with you and better understand your specific needs and requirements. With that being said, I really enjoyed kind of having everyone here on the call. I'll be sending out a follow-up email that includes this video, and I'll be reaching out to any individual that did send me some questions on today's call. So thank you again for attending today's call. Myself and Cosmo, our mascot, are signing off. Cheers.